When you're in a draft room and you're late in the first round and you know the free football world is waiting to see you draft a wide receiver, and then you take 2 defensive players, and that's absolutely not giving the full scope of the defensive players you took and the program from which you took them and the championship quality with which they play. But what happened on draft night that night for you guys?
Well, I think you saw it. I mean, a lot of those wide receivers went earlier, and there was a big run. And I don't think you can just – obviously, we knew we had a need for wide receiver. But you can't force the issue. And I thought Goody did a great job of, just being patient, knowing that there were some other guys out there that we were very intrigued with, and, ultimately took the best player, in at least from our board, and we feel like we got better with those 2 guys. So I was super excited about it. I think as long as you're adding really good football players, and not only great football players, but good people to your organization, I think there's a lot of reason to be excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Quay Walker, who is terrific. I love Wyatt a lot, and obviously, with Kenny Clark there, and you can move Clark around. As you know, I'm a big Michigan guy, so you have in Rashawn Gary. I love watching him play and blossom as well. You could do a ton of stuff with the defensive players you got, but walk me through the wide receivers, if you don't mind, and what you think they can do. You took 2 kids in the first few rounds. What do you think they can do, and how quickly you think they can make an impact for you this fall?
Well, shoot, we hope they can impact very quickly. But Christian Watson, obviously, he's big, he's fast, he's physical. Got a chance to see him this past weekend with our rookie camp. So we had them in, I should say, last weekend, and he's a really impressive guy. Not only just in terms of his physical ability, but just how he goes about his business, how he was able to pick up our playbook pretty quickly. I want to be careful about, giving all these expectations about what he's going to go out there and do, because ultimately, he's really young, and he's got a lot to learn, and he's got to go through an off season and with us, and then we'll have a better idea. But I think just when you look at his skill set, it is pretty impressive. Just what he's able to do is just a very big, explosive athlete. And then when you talk about Romeo Dobbs, again, another guy that is, he's 6'2", 205. He's a well-built guy. He's got really good speed. He showed extremely aggressive hands, not only through the draft process, but this past weekend. So those are 2 guys that we're pretty excited about, and just adding to our rotation. And then the last guy we drafted in the 7th round, Samori Toure, he's another guy that just is pretty physically gifted, that a versatile receiver that we could put inside in the slot or put him outside. He's got some really good athletic body movements that resemble kind of like a basketball player, and that's something we always kind of look for in a wideout, and then their ability to separate. So those are 3 young guys that we're really excited to add to the mix of some of the vets that we have.
Did Rodgers give his 2 cents on the wide receiver position going into the draft to you guys?
Yeah, we talked to him about it, and I think ultimately, there's certainly a lot of trust on his part, and that we were going to go try to get the best players available, and we feel like we did that given the circumstances.
Okay, and then last one for you here, with all the quarterback movement that we saw in March, and Rodgers staying put. A lot of us assumed Jordan Love would be on the move. Somebody would call for you, and like Rodgers is at least going to be there, we assume, for the next couple of years, and which take you to past Love's contract. Any thoughts of that at all?
Those are decisions that I don't make, and I'm glad I don't have to make them, Rich. So those are great questions for Goody, though. You got to get him on the show with me.
All right, let's do that. I'd be happy to. I'd be happy to do that.
I would love to hear his answer.
That's another guy whose door I've been knocking on. So we gotta hopefully he answers that. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.